Hey guys, it's Isopods and more with me. I hope everything's going well with you. You're taking care of yourselves and the ones you love. I'm going to show you a bin here in a moment. I don't have anything in there, but it's about a project that I am looking forward to. So I am going to do some video of that and do some talking. Hope everything's going well with you. You're taking care of yourselves and the ones you love. Let's hop into it. All right, to start with, this is the bin that I'm using. In terms of its size, you can see it's generally clear. Now, here in the right corner, it's about 4 inches of substrate, and towards the top left, it gets to about 6.5 or 7 inches. My bright shirt's not the best for this, but I don't know how well you can also see in there. But I do have some, I wonder if I can actually, if this will help or not. Yeah, a little bit. Sorry about that, Clear, but you can see in there that I have just what I consider like this, some very good airy layering. This is the moist side, the hydration station. I'll switch it back this way. So we have layers there. I have wood going and magnolia leaves going all the way up and down vertically. And again, you can kind of see in there. Now I'm going to go up through the top. And again, just to add more kind of context to what you're looking at. Now, my plan here is to do something most people tell you not to do. What I want to do is house 2 separate species of isopods in here. The reason they generally tell you not to do that is, in my consideration, more of if there's a bottleneck in resources and space. Now, what I plan to do is, and I don't have the species picked out yet, but I'm going to give 2 species as examples. The first being I believe it's Porcellio dilatatus, or canyon giants as I call them, or as normal people call them, giant canyon isopods. Canyon giants have a propensity for burrowing. They're not a more surface dwelling isopod. They, like I said, they have a propensity for digging. They love digging in the substrate, and from the videos I've heard, the research I've done, they actually tend to eat a lot of the substrate as opposed to just live in it, whereas a lot of the other isopods tend to maybe eat more leaf litter and things like that. Now, with that, so the species I noticed that I have, Porcellio spinicornis, they tend to frequent the top layer, leaf litter and wood. That's where I find them, at least in the environments out where I find them in the wild. I don't find them where I find Porcellio scaber and Trichelopus rathkai here, which tend to be more under the surface or in wet, moist areas. These guys, again, from what I'm observing and the little bit that I've read, they tend to prefer not dry, never dry, but drier in terms of what isopods prefer. So my goal here is to keep constant food going and make sure that, well, try to promote an environment where the Porcellio spinicornis tend to frequent up here where you see right now, get in here, these leaves, under the leaves, the wood chunks here, and my hope is that more down here, under and in the substrates, in all of these, will be where more of the canyon giants will be. Now, with that, I do have right now a colony of both of those species. So the other thing I would do to keep competition down in this bin is pull out of this. I don't know the schedule right now, if it would be monthly, but my point is to keep population down so there's less direct competition or competition that can be detrimental. I don't want to promote that, so I can pull out and put the ones I pull out into my other bins and keep the colony populations down. And again, I talk a lot about adversity in life, but one thing I do want to try to see about utilizing is the fact that competition can be something that creates adversity, and adversity can create different responses. Maybe quicker feeding responses, maybe hopefully more quick breeding responses. I don't know, and that's something I'm eager to experiment with. Again, I want to make sure that this particular experiment, so to speak, is about a robust environment, not one that is, focusing on a lack of environment and direct competition. I want the natural competition to be there, but I don't want the competition to be something that, again, is detrimental or anything like that. I hope that that makes sense, and I would love your thoughts on that below. If your answer, however, is don't do that because that's what I've been told and that's what I've heard, please don't leave that comment. But if it's something that you may recommend a species, something like that. One other aspect I'm eager to, if not hear, but maybe represent in, or I'm sorry, to experiment with in the future is things like breeding different, not breeding, but seeing what long-term breeding projects can come about. For example, the Porcellio dilatatus and Porcellio spinicornis. I don't know if there could be some long-term breeding ramifications between keeping them housed in here together. I don't know that. Now, depending on the success of this, my goal would ultimately be to use that bad boy for something similar. But again, I want to use this as an experiment. And the good thing about that for me is, the worst case, if this is a big debacle and I'm having trouble with it, I can take this entire bin apart, put, at least, again, right now, if I'm going to do it with the Dilatus, or the Canyon Giants and the Spinnies, I can just take this bin apart, put the Canyon Giants where they go, put the Spinnies back in their bins, and no harm, no foul, and I learn not to do it. Or, if I maybe come to that point, but I learn there was no success because X and Y, I can pull them out, introduce X and Y into the environment, and see if I can now do it more stably. I would love any feedback you've had if you've done this, if you have any suggestions in species, in the environment, any husbandry things, anything to add, remove, any kind of feedback I'd love, even if it's just, hey, good luck. I would love that. So, take care of yourselves, go easy, and let me know your thoughts below.